I wrote the end and I had like tears because I'm like, wow, I reached the mountaintop. And like anybody else, when you complete something, whatever it is, when you know that you've done something that, okay, wow, only 3% of the people ever finish writing a book and making a publication. You're already a success when you get to that point.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. We're going in the traditional route as we discuss the journeys to success. And today, I am sitting here with the one and only Mr. Jemar Mills, a good City College fellow alum, a good Morgan State, and now author of Pinpoint, a series. We're going to talk about that, but before we get started, Jemar, how you feeling?
I'm feeling amped up, man. I'm happy to be here. This is great. Living my dream, Brian. And it was always great to be with a fellow City Knight, a Morgan Bear. I mean,
Yes.
man, we've been in lockstep. Didn't even know, but lockstep, man, and watching your progress, man. So great to see this. Great to see how God's been blessing you here. And I'm just happy to be here and talk about Pinpoint.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming through and to, be able to share this project with us. And, also thank you for writing this. I can't wait to really delve into it. But, before we get started, how do you feel now that it's done? Now, when you held this book in your hand, can you describe that feeling?
So when they say labor of love, I know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
This book took me 4 years to write.
Oh, wow.
4 years, handwritten.
Okay.
So hand cramps.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Cameron and his team did a great job at Full Circle Press. And when I got the first proof, my wife recorded it. So it's out there on the internet somewhere. I ugly cried. I mean, it was like holding your dream. Anyone that's ever birthed something, obviously, women to the gift of birth, but any dream that you have that comes to fruition, you get that PhD, you get that dream job, you get that whatever it is that you've been pining for, working hard for. And sometimes you think it's not going to come. Yeah. And when it is in your hands the first time, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. I mean, I felt fulfilled.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about you first. Tell people, for those who don't know, we mentioned Baltimore City College High School. We mentioned Morgan State. But can you tell people where you're from? I know, obviously, Baltimore, but you want to share a little bit which part of Baltimore, and because obviously it's a huge inspiration to why we're here today.
Thank you. So I'm Baltimore City, born and bred, Zone 15, 21215. I mean, that's just the Baltimoreese of it all. Grew up around Park Heights, Park Circle area. Went to school up there in City College. But yeah, I grew up right around Pimlico Racetrack. I used to see them practicing the horses and stuff, and the Preakness and things like that. So I'm just Baltimore all the way through and through. Even though West Side, but I spent so much time on the East Side, I kind of got dual citizenship over there as well.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, just Baltimore. And that's what I wanted to let everybody know. Like, you don't have to come from such and such place or wherever. You can come from the city. You can come from the heart of the urban area and still have a dream and still live your dream.
Right.
That's my mantra, live your dream. That's one of the big things I go off of. I know it's hard out here, but I know one thing for sure, regarding your side, you can make it. I'm living proof of that. Anybody can be what they strive to be if they try hard enough. I'm proof of that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we know that you mentioned Baltimore City College, right? And that other school, they always talk about the math and the science. With us, it's a lot of literature.
Correct.
Correct. I used to always say, my mother would say, you can't say it. You misuse that word or whatever. I said, look, I got a lot of A's in English class. I abused the language as I went. But can you talk about how that helped you with the inspiration and, how it helped you apply that to this book?
So one of my inspirations was Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart. That was our summer reading from 9th grade to 10th grade. I literally had to read that book and then second day of class have a test on it.
Oh, wow.
But I fell in love with the work.
Oh.
I fell in love with the story, a Conquo story a story of colonization from the perspective of the colonized, not the colonizer.
Mm-hmm.
And we never get the story from the loser's perspective, so to speak. So to see that the tragic hero, was he perfect? No, but he grew into a culture that supported his way of life. How he viewed marriage, how he viewed his children, how he viewed success was different than what the colonizers did. So it was a tension, a constant tension and a clash. And I loved the story and the perspective of it. So when I went to school, like my second day there, we took the test. And I'll never forget, they based our seating off the test grade.
Oh, wow.
So the highest grade you get was 110.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a grade in class publicly. And they said, who got 110 grade paper? And somebody in the back raised their hand. And I said, who got 110 on this? I knew I passed it, but who got 110? And the teacher said, whose paper do you have? Jemar Mills. I was like, oh. So all my coolness that I tried to establish was gone on day 2. I sat in the front of the class right by the door. So, but
ironically, if that's 2025, you'd have been cool.
Yeah,
it's
I know,
cool
right?
to be smart.
Yeah. The world's flipped now.
Yeah.
But I credit that. I credit.
You remember who your teacher was?
Dr. Roscoff.
Okay.
Yep. And then Professor Orange, Ms. Orange, Scarlet Letter, Nathaniel Hawthorne. I'm a big Nathaniel Hawthorne fan. Young Goodman Brown.
Miss Orange was in the classroom?
She was the teacher. Yep, she was the teacher.
Okay, because I remember her as a drama teacher.
Yeah, she did both.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I never, well, maybe she was. I had her for, or maybe it was for a class. I know, we'll get into, but The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I was in school as The Wire was happening.
Okay.
And I'm actually just watching that for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, me, shout out to my girlfriend.
To the club.
You never seen it?
No, I've seen it. I'm saying welcome.
Yeah,
better late than never.
Yeah, was there any similarities or any inspirations from The Wire as you was putting this project together?
I always liked, one of my favorite adjectives is gritty.
Okay.
And the authenticity of The Wire to somebody that grew up in Baltimore, somebody that saw the rise of drugs in their own community growing up.
Yeah.
And the dope dealers, the people that were the fiends, all that stuff. I've seen all that. I knew people who were in that lifestyle. I knew people who lost their life in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So any work that I had, I wanted to always be authentic.
Okay.
So yeah, there is a level of that in here as well. Gang violence. There's more to come. The first 2 volumes, just to be honest with you, I kind of like to call that a nice sized appetizer.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I like, you can go to a place and get a big thing of nachos, but that's the appetizer.
Yeah.
That's not the whole meal, but there's a lot of nachos. It's good.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there's so much more meat in this Pinpoint universe that I want this world to experience.
Now, was there a particular event that happened that sparked you to say, now is the time, or this is the reason why I have to write Pinpoint?
Pinpoint had been in my head since about 2018, 2017.
Oh.
And it just stayed there because, like a lot of people, work gets in the way, life gets in the way, kids, and then you procrastinate sometimes because you just think, it's not that big a deal. But when COVID hit and I was literally working from home, God spoke to me, said, if not now, when? You're literally working from home.
Yeah.
So I picked up my first binder and I just started writing, doing research, breaking down the characters. What did I want them to be? How did I want them to look? And what conflicts trying to get to that would bring them together and also tear them apart. So that was the big thing. COVID was really the catalyst for it. But at the same time, it still wasn't finished till February 2024.
Yeah.
So, the angst and the ebbs and flows of writers, as any writer out there knows, the writer's block, trying to figure out the conflicts, trying to figure out all the twists and turns. And I had to let my work breathe.
Yeah.
When I first started, I thought it would only be 5 volumes.
Oh.
And as I'm writing it, when I got to volume 4, I said, I'm nowhere near done. So I said, maybe to go to volume 6. I get to volume 6, I'm like, I'm not done yet. So it wound up being 7 volumes. So I really had to let the work breathe. I didn't want to rush it.
Right.
And just like anything else, you don't want to have something done prematurely because it's not going to be fully developed. So it took a long time to get it. But once I felt that I got the tension, I felt that I was able to pull everybody together and the climax and everything of that nature and have a resolution. That's okay. Now I think we're at that point. But when I wrote The End, February 27th, 2024.
I love you remember the date.
I I wrote the end and I had like tears because I'm like, wow, I reached the mountaintop. And like anybody else, when you complete something, whatever it is, when you know that you've done something that, okay, wow, only 3% of the people ever finish writing a book and making a publication. You're already a success when you get to that point.
Yeah. Did you know what the end was going to be? And did you fill it in, or did the ending change throughout the story?
I literally had no ending.
Okay.
That was the biggest writing block. And trying to figure out how to get all of the characters assembled, to use an Avengers term, and to get them all in room that made sense. That was the biggest problem. And that took probably a year or two of just trying to figure out what can I do to get these guys together. And when it finally hit, it hit so hard, I had to like stop what I was doing and write it on the side. And I wrote down the ending on a little note to myself because I said, I cannot lose this. I've been trying to find this for so long. Yeah. And when I finally did, I was like, okay, then I had to build to that point. But I finally had a meeting point that made sense. So it was, but no, I did not have an ending set in the beginning.
Can you talk about some of the things? We know the main character's name, Julius Scruggs.
Correct.
That sounds like a Baltimore name.
Yes.
I believe there was Scruggs Funeral Home or something like that. I feel like I've seen that name on the back of church fans.
Yeah. So I pull a lot of inspiration from Baltimore. The book takes place in New York. It's grounded in certain live real events that happened in New York. Okay. But there's Baltimore in there. And I use the name. I know a couple of Julius's, and Scruggs is a family name that I have from on my mother's side. Oh, so just kind of pulling inspirations here and there with it. But yeah, so without spoiling a lot of it, I'll say that the one big piece of me that's in this is that every character you see is a part of my personality. Okay, so even the villains, there's a part of me in there. So it doesn't say I go around and doing the things that these people are doing, but we all have a side of ourselves that we don't want the world to see. Right. But as an artist, you kind of open that door to people. Yeah. You see it in actors. They're like, how are they able to play this evil role and stuff like that? But there's a part of them that identifies with a part of this character. And it makes their authenticity even more real. So every character you see, whether it's the father, whether it's Julius, whether it's Cleo or Alexander or Attila, whomever, Detective Bennett, whatever, there's a part of me in every one of those characters.
So what's the thing that you want readers to take away when they sit back and read this?
I want them to understand that we all have a gift. I know this is based about superheroes and things of that nature, but the point is your gift can be reading. Your gift can be acting. Your gift can be carpentry. Your gift can be being a singer. Whatever your gift is, don't hide your gift. Be who you were meant to be. Right. As a high school kid, I was shy. I was really shy. I was self-conscious. I had full lips. I had big up bushy eyebrows. I had glasses. I felt like I was an Urkel impersonator, But it wasn't until I got into college and kind of started branching out and really trusting myself and really feeling like myself and really appreciating the person that God made me to be. Yeah. So I was hiding my gifts. People didn't know I could act. People didn't know that I was good at, reading they knew I was smart, but they didn't know I
you got 110.
Yeah, but I could break down literature. I'm the only person that understood Macbeth in school. But I had a mind for literature. It always grabbed me, but I wasn't going to let anybody know that, and I wasn't going to let too many people in because I was just afraid of really opening myself up. And in this book deals with the identity. Yeah. It deals with what do you do when you have a gift? What's your responsibility to the world with that gift? What's your responsibility to you? What's your identity with this? Wow. So that's the point that I want people to understand. It's okay to have a gift. It's okay to be different. Don't hide who you are because you're not really living.
Yeah. Wow. That's deep. So are there any current things or real world life tensions that's happening that we can expect to kind of mirror itself in Pinpoint?
Well, it deals with family.
Okay.
And as we all know, family can be a blessing, but it can also be generational curses falling on you.
Mm-hmm.
And what defines family? Is family because we have the same DNA and we look alike?
Right.
Is family because I owe you a debt because you took me in? What defines family? What defines the bonds?
Mm-hmm.
I harken back to a scene in Shaka Zulu.
Oh.
And another great work. And Shaka Zulu's father and his mother they weren't really married, if I remember correctly. It was more of a moment of enjoyment for him.
Mm-hmm.
And when his father died, one of Shaka Zulu's aides said, well, I'm sorry your father died. And he looked at him, he said, my conception was a moment of pleasure for him, but a beginning of a lifetime for pain for me. And he said, bloodlines, they always demand your allegiance.
Yeah.
So that stuck with me because I'm like, that's true. Like, is it just because you gave birth to me that I'm loyal to you? What defines that? So Julius has some questions that he has to answer for himself.
Yeah.
What defines family? And that's one of the big things in Pinpoint.
So now, volume 1, volume 2, he says it's a little appetizer.
Mm-hmm.
Any teasers for 3? We ain't gotta go through all of them, but any teasers for 3?
So book 2 is gonna have the plan right now, tentatively, is to have book 2 be volumes 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
So more meat, more action, and a little. We're gonna up it. We're gonna up the ante with it because he's gonna get to see that he's not as special as he thought he was, as unique as he thought he was. And he's really going to have to start answering some real questions about what kind of man he wants to be.
Okay.
So I don't want to get too much into it, but yeah, we're definitely got some more meat on this on book 2. So I'm looking forward to that when that comes out as well. But you got to start from square one right here with this one. And once we get this thing going, you'll see that, like, okay, well, what happens there? Because I'm letting you guys know this is just the start.
Okay. Well, there will be a link in the description where they can purchase it. What's the target audience?
My target audience is teen to tween age, teenage. I know there's a lot of content out here now that may not be suitable for some kids, and some parents don't want their children to read it. I want kids my age that when I was having those feelings of insecurity, to find it and identify with these characters.
Okay.
So I kind of write for myself when I was a kid, and I look at it from that angle.
Now, when you talk about writing, writer's block, roadblocks, how did you overcome them?
It was literally just fighting myself.
Okay.
There would be times when I would be in my man cave and I'd have the manuscripts beside me, but I'm playing a video game or watching TV, and it would gnaw at me. You should be writing. You should be writing. And it just, I would have
You
dreams.
sound like a podcaster, because that'd be me sometimes.
Yeah. I had a reoccurring dream for 4 years. This is a true story. A reoccurring dream that I would be back at Morgan State, and they say you didn't finish, you didn't graduate. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I got my degree. They said, no, it's still one class you have to finish. But that was my subconscious letting me know I still needed to finish. I have not had that dream since.
Oh, wow.
I have not had that dream since. So I really had to fight my nature, because I'm a natural procrastinator. I'm going to tell the truth. If I can put it off till tomorrow and it won't be that much problem, I'll do that. If it's due at 5, I can do it at 4:30.
Right.
So really, when I completed this work, it was really like beating a lot of my own angst, and I overcame something that normally would be tough for me to overcome.
Right.
So
I remember earlier in the conversation, you mentioned when it was done, and you wrote the end. But how did you know that was the end? Like, did you struggle with it a little bit? Did you think, oh, what if I did? Or did you?
So I'll give you one more spoiler. The Pinpoint universe after volume 7 could continue.
Oh, okay.
it could continue.
You know what this sounds like? My anybody who knows me knows I hate that saying because it's like everybody knows me. But my favorite TV series is Power.
Okay.
And I remember Omari Hardwick said, like, he called Courtney Kemp and said, "I got it. This is how it's got to end, right?"
Mm-hmm.
But then we still in the Power universe,
yeah.
Right? We had Power Book 2, 3, 4. That force they could have kept that, but it's about to end soon. But then I hear like Power Legacy is coming out. I know they're going to be, but the point was like it could still go on.
Correct.
And now you got me really intrigued because, like you said, the Pinpoint universe is this going to be a thing where we're going to hashtag Pinpoint never ends?
It's a possibility. I definitely have left the door open for a sequel, but I'm more excited. I would have the opportunity to do a prequel. That's what I really want to do.
Okay.
If I could wave a magic wand and say, okay, the Pinpoint universe was successful. What do you want to do? A sequel or prequel? I would do a prequel in a heartbeat. I have so much more material for a prequel that's just floating up here right now. That I want to have the opportunity to share with the world because I think that it's just so much that I can expand upon here, and this book takes place over a span of a 20-year cycle. So there are flashbacks, there's prologue, epilogue, so there's time jumps as well.
Man, so any deleted scenes?
No, not yet. No. Now this is still book 1, so I got to see about book 2. We're going to work on that, but my goal is to get book 2 out around the same time next year.
Okay.
And like I said, just keep expanding on the universe. But there's so much more action. There's so much more story to tell. And like I said, the characters, you're just getting the bare bones of some of these characters.
Oh.
So there's a lot more depth. That's one of the things I like to expand upon. Each character has their own depth to them.
Yeah.
So, just because you see one person say one line here or 2 lines here, don't think that that's it. Almost every character you see has some depth to them.
I love it. I love it, man. So now, as this is so interesting because, hearing all this and I'm visualizing it. And because I'm visualizing, I got to ask you, live action, film, can you see this going into motion?
Lord willing.
Okay, all right.
Lord willing.
We speak these things in existence.
That's right. I'm a believer. So, Lord willing, I would love to do that. Fun fact, I actually reached out to 50 Cent on Twitter. I said, hey, I got a book for you. He never replied back, but you just never know. You never know. If he sees this, hey, man, you never know. I mean, you can expand on the universe more, Power and Pinpoint. You just never know. So, you never know. So,
well, you said based in New York, so we just got to get you to spend some more time up there.
Yeah, exactly. But I would love to do that. I've been a part of acting and drama since I was a kid. So there's always a part of me that would love to see this go and have a live action, to see Julius actually as a person, to see these abilities in a live action setting, either a series, a movie, a mini series or what have you. I mean, I even like the animation side of it. Yeah. I look at Invincible and things like that. Those are great options as well. So yeah, but any kind of form like that where I could take this and actually have some kind of live animation, I would be all for it. I think that it just speaks to people because everybody has family. Everybody has a gift. Yeah. So. Well,
I think it's great. And I want to tell you, man, you did a phenomenal job and the inspiration, before, break the fourth wall, as we say in wrestling, you having these conversations with my son, who shout out to Jonathan, who's directing this project, this video right now.
He's a good man, good young man.
And like, you're an inspiration because, like you said, it's not too late. You know what I mean? You had life, and a good life. You got shout out to your wife. I know she just celebrated her birthday.
Yes,
fellow Leo.
Yeah. I love you, Sheena.
Yes. And that's the thing, having wife and kids, but saying, this is a dream. My mother wrote the book, The Tears Behind My Smile.
I remember you told me that. Yeah.
And, I remember because it's a memoir about my Uncle Mike, her late brother, and reading that and watching her journey, watching her write and go through it. And it's been fun to watch, and then now seeing you do this, I can tell you the same way. I'm pretty sure your kids have told you, but I can see that the same way my mother inspired me, you've inspired them, like Me and my mother was in community college at the same time.
Wow.
At Baltimore City Community College, and which I also got my associate's degree from. Mm-hmm. And I remember like she had this commanding presence when she walked on campus that like, you know, when you're in community college, you're going to have people who are older. Yeah, and you still call them by their, you know, first name. And she was still Miss Robin. And I'm like, and I remember I took an English 2 class, shout out to Professor Long. And the first day of class was like, where's Miss Robin? And I was like, what you doing? You popular or something? But, you know, having parents that are inspiring and to see you do that, you know, I just want to make sure we give you your flowers.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
And then in this project. Before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you. And we know we got a book signing coming up. Yes. Let the people know all that information.
All right. So the book signing is this Saturday out in Laurel. Let me get the address here. Mm-hmm. And I know you'll put the link on there. So give me 1 second here. I just sent it to somebody, so I have it up here. Mm-hmm. It's going to be August 16th at 12 p.m. From 12 to 2, I'll be signing books, and we'll have plenty of them there. 8450 Upper Skyway in Laurel, Maryland.
Okay.
Yep, 8450 Upper Skyway.
Now, will there be more coming up? Like more book signings?
That's the plan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's the plan. So, yeah. So, this is the first one here. Really excited about it. Never did anything like this before, so just having that opportunity to share this with you, I'm just overjoyed.
Well, let the people know where they can find you on social media.
Okay, so so I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. So Jemar Mills, JemarMills. You can literally hashtag that. HTT. I can never spell that. Pinpointcomic.com.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, pinpointcomic.com. And I know my man Brian is going to put the link on that because he's better at this stuff than I'll ever be. So I'm leaning on his expertise.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so, you know, I'm just excited about this opportunity to share this. And I want to thank you for this, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all check out the book. Make sure y'all support and be a loud supporter. Tweet about it, post about it, post a picture with it so we can get this thing trending, get it going. We spread a lot of negativity on social media. Let's spread some positivity. And remember, folks, do not let anyone place a ceiling above your success. So long, everybody.